Gently close your eyes and focus your mind to this bell sound. So while focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, relax your breathing with your thoughts. Let everything to settle down as it is. Just focus to the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in this meditation session, we mainly going to practice tranquility meditation, samatha mental culture or samatha bhavana, and insight meditation or vidarsana bhavana or vidarsana mental culture. So for this meditation, why we mention as mental culture? Because this is a way of you practice to cultivate your mind, develop your mind. How far you cultivate your mind? So like the tree grows, how far the trees grow? As much as it can. The tree not going to grow half and stop there. So how far your mind can grow? So as far as, so then there is no limit. So why then we have to practice separately meditation? Because in day-to-day life, we more addicted to think and repeat actions. We are almost becoming like robot and repeating actions again and again. And it become habit, and then we become more comfortable with the habits. Once the mind addicted to habits, it doesn't matter whatever the actions. Once the mind settle down and become comfortable to be addict to be in the action, the mind, what's happening, the mind doesn't grow. Mind start to stop growing and it depend on thoughts. Once the mind depend on thoughts, what will happen? Your awareness become very limited. Once the awareness become very limited, your experience become very limited. Once the experience become very limited, your wisdom or the knowledge or the understanding become very limited. Once you become very limited with your experience, you always start to depend on something. So that dependency itself, and once you start to become dependent on the perception or the emotions or the thoughts or the ideas, and you start to keep chasing, go behind it. That journey itself we name as samsara. So, is it possible for you to get out of it? Of course. How? In the very beginning, what you have to do, let your mind to settle down rather than going with thoughts. So that is what tranquility meditation does. So in the beginning, you allow your mind to settle down. So settle down with what? Settle down with whatever the one mental object. So then here we take our own inhalation, exhalation as our primary mental object. So you can take whatever you want even. And you don't need to be very limited to inhalation, exhalation. But always you have to look whatever the most profitable mental object to keep as primary mental object. So that's why we take the inhalation, exhalation. That is one of the most profitable mental object. Why? Because your body, your mind always depending on your inhalation, exhalation. So when you keep observe the inhalation, exhalation, what will happen? So the mind has the nature, thoughts has nature to always follow something or go behind something or settle down with something. So then once you bring the attention to your inhalation, exhalation, what will happen? So whatever the thoughts depending on your past and the future, so slowly will settle down with the inhalation, exhalation. And once the mind release from past and the future and settle down itself, that is where your mind going to be sharp and clear. When you have the sharp and clear mind, what will happen? The perception going to become very clear. So perceptions means whatever the forms come to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind as informations. Once the perception become very clear, you are able to recognize things as it is, rather than depending on thoughts, rather than comparing, rather than going with your experience, rather than bringing your past memories to this moment. You're able to experience something in this very moment as it is. So that is tranquility meditation. Once you develop that ability, your mind become more usable and clear, and also it become more flexible and sharp. So that sharpness, that clarity, and it become more undisturbed, solid. So that solidness, undisturbed mind, we used to practice vipassana. So what is vipassana? So vipassana means deeply, thoroughly observing. Another thing is seeing as it is, how things come to be as they are. So when you see, there are few ways that you have to understand. So when you see, it is not by adding thoughts and bringing your experience and see something. You have to see it in its pure level, it in organic way, and without adding any ingredients or without adding any information. So that is the vipassana level of seeing. And when you see, you have to be very clear. Moment by moment, moment by moment, go with the experience rather than with the memory adding to your present moment of experience. Another thing is that whatever the moment that you go through, whatever that you see, that you cannot see, it's kind of like the very nature of our mind that you experience bounce back. Remember that very carefully. So whatever that you think, what will happen? That all the thoughts has power to bounce back with this entire nature. Another thing is with the perception also the same. So whatever the things appear as forms to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. When in that very moment when the contacts happen, so it is a very subtle moment. Sometimes your thoughts bounce back. So as example, it like this. So you have anger in your mind, and there is the newly born baby crying. So to cry for a newly born baby, you don't need a reason for that. And so when you hear that sound, it is a form for your ear. But when it comes to your ear, you get angry. So that is not the anger come out of the sound that coming through the child. No, that's the anger, the bounce back. So same thing with the eye. So whatever you see is like a mirror. And sometimes very beautiful thing. See, sometimes when people get angry, their own plate, they break. Their own this cooking items, they throw away. And their own TV, you know, they watch movies and drama. They like to see all the music, that thing, they enjoy it. But how about when people get mad, angry, you know, they break their own TV, the mirrors. And the mirror themselves, they always appreciate them watching themselves. But when they get angry, they break it. Windows and doors and all the beautiful items, that sometimes they destroy everything. And even their loved ones, they start to see as enemies. How? Because bounce back. So in the Vidarsana, you don't allow your thoughts to bounce back. That is where you come out of the thinking. It is one way experience. Remember that very carefully. The perception, it's not bounce back inside you. Whatever you hear is a one-way journey. Whatever you see, what one is, in that very moment of the perception happening, you recognize. That recognition, done, over, move forward. Whatever you hear, let it come, recognize and done. So whatever the feelings arise, let it happen, recognize, done. And whatever thought arise, let it come and done. So see, now you are like a river, you flowing, not stuck anywhere. So that is the very nature of the Vidarsana. But you are in the moment, in that very moment of recognition. If you are able to keep the clarity, in that moment of the recognition, you're going to understand in that very moment that everything regarding whatever that perception, you're never going to miss. But we have the fear. That's why the thought come up and play the game. Because why? As I mentioned, we are addicted to think. But that's why we practice the samatha meditation, samatha mental culture, to tranquilize the mind and develop an undisturbed mind. So once you have that undisturbed mind, you become more clear with the perception. So be aware about the bounce back. Remember that in your life, whatever the decision you make, whatever the experience you go through in day-to-day life, and keep that clarity. Don't allow your mind to bounce back. That is where our views hold ourselves. And that is one of the big part of this samsara. So allow it to experience and keep the clarity. And keep the clarity, keep the newness, and without adding your experience to yourself. So with that, we're going to practice a little bit. And when it comes to tranquility meditation, we observe the inhalation, exhalation in front of your nose and your upper lip area. So in the beginning, Just observe inhalation, exhalation separately and go with the beginning, the middle and end. And then while you're observing that way, sometimes you will recognize some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, like that. Somehow, you no need to go by order, but if you see whatever, if it is related to the inhalation, exhalation, then be with it. Another thing is have discipline with your practice. So whatever come to your mind, and recognize if it is not related to the aware the your attention or your focus, and then don't go with it. So that's why you follow the sensation. If it is something related to the sensation, then you go with it. Otherwise, you don't go with it. It doesn't matter. Allow your thoughts to play whatever it want, but keep your mind with the inhalation, exhalation. And then when we go to the vipassana level, and we use the same inhalation, exhalation, and at the same time, remember, follow the very nature of the inhalation, exhalation, rather than go following the qualities, you see the true deep nature, inherent nature, that is impermanent, unsatisfactory nature, selflessness. So, and sometimes entire your body start to feel as one. And when the inhalation happens, your entire body just feel like a whole body inhaling. So then focus to entire body. If otherwise, if you just see only the sensation in front of your nose and your upper lip area, just be with it. So whatever experience come in the vidarsana level, so whatever the perception come, so always remember, don't go with the details or outside informations or the label. Just see the impermanent, even the sound, smell, taste, sensation, thoughts. Just see the impermanent and don't go to any other details, and see unsatisfactory nature inherent within it. Itself, it's change. Another thing is selflessness. And within that perception, it doesn't have any self. And even the feelings that you get, it doesn't have any self. So let's practice a little bit. So your right palm on your left. Neck head straight in one line and be comfortable with your posture. Keep your neck head straight in one line. And bring your attention to your body and observe head to toes 3 times. And say Sopatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation, and then later observe the impermanent, unsatisfactory nature and selflessness within the same inhalation, exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times, please. And find out the sensation in front of your nose and your upper lip area. And allow your inhalation, exhalation to happen itself. And recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation separately. Do nothing extra. And follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. Knowingly, this is the beginning, middle, and end. You may experience some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. Just recognize and accept it. Observe the impermanent, unsatisfactory nature and selflessness within the perception or the feelings arise. Bring your attention to your body. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding yourself like this with clear intention. Mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one, out of anger or ill will, wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart and visualize yourself and send it as a light forward to your backside, downward, and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So dear Dhamma practitioners, when it comes to our human life, the one of the most important quality that you have to develop is clarity, recognition. So that clarity doesn't come itself. So when we look at the success of our life, we always like to pray, we always try to do puja, even chanting, and do many kind of spiritual activities. But the mostly what happening, once you become used to whatever the activities that you do, what will happen? Once it become a habit, you lose the main fundamental quality that you should have for the development. That is what? The awareness. Even when we look at the world, even in this conventional world, see that by generations, we reach to a point, and we have to deal with today with these machines and technology, with this algorithm more than the humans in personal. So today, that the most important tool that we have ourselves is awareness. Because if you lose your awareness, how are you going to deal with these machines? So then in day-to-day life, how much you spend your time to brush up yourself, sharp yourself, clean yourself with your awareness. Even if you have million dollars, and within one day you can lose that everything if you not become mindful or if you not become aware. So then today we came to a point to understand with this everything, the most important thing for this humanity is our awareness. So then we have to look personally ourselves, how much we spend time for that. Why? Because mostly our emotions, our thoughts, our habits, our dislikes, our anger, our hatred, and also the stress level, anxiety, depression, that kind of this everything attack only one thing. This all kind of like friends, they all try to attack only one thing. That is your awareness. And at the same time, for this all the enemies, you should have only one medicine. That is your awareness. Once you have your awareness, once you have your clarity, once you develop your mindfulness, your emotions, your thoughts, your habits, your patterns of life, and all the anger, hatred, jealousy, and all other disappointment, unhappiness, sadness, worry, fear, and all other anxiety, depression, this everything going to go away. So then you have to understand the value of that. And so then in day-to-day life, it is your responsibility to protect it. Because mostly in day-to-day life, we like to practice, so we like to jump on the things that lose our awareness. Just look at the drugs, especially these all young generations. And they like to feel high. They like to lose their mind. They like to be unconscious. So that means you are born with some value. You born with the bliss. You born with the treasure. But even don't know what the reason is, and you losing your value, you losing your treasure, and you losing your bliss. So it is your own responsibility in day-to-day life. Then remember, it doesn't matter because of your husband, wife, children, friends and family members, brothers, sisters, or anybody. Even the good people or the bad people or the enemy, so it doesn't matter. To keep your awareness, it is your personal responsibility. Why? Because once you lose your awareness, remember, you're done. You kind of like dead. You will live, but overall, it's when it comes to humanity, if you are not aware, you dead. So it's kind of like a living dead person. It is your choice then. Maybe you will enjoy things, but even you don't know what it is. And you have no idea what this life. You don't feel anything. When others smile, you smile. When others talk, you talk. When others dance, you dance. And when others cry, you cry. When others fight, you fight. When others enjoy, you enjoy. You don't know what is real life when you lose your awareness. So that's why the vipassana is the key practice to keep, cultivate, develop, and share your awareness. So that is as a human being, that is the highest that you can develop, and that is the highest and you can experience. You can experience many other things in the world, in the material realm, in this material existence. But when it comes to true humanity, if you are able to experience the clarity and the awareness within yourself, and that is the bliss, that is the highest that you can gain through this human experience, human existence. And once you reach to that, and your your liberation and your development of this practice going to be fulfilled. In that fulfillment, and you find the complete satisfaction with clear understanding, and that is where your nibbana can happen, and that is where your nibbana going to be possible. So this is a journey that you have to practice moment by moment, because this awareness, it's not going to happen itself. There are many other schools, there are many other teachings, even before the Buddha, and they used to look for that. They had the sense. That's why even the Prince Siddhartha, when he left the palace, and when he saw a sick person, that the old person and the dead person, and then he saw a monk or the sannyasi, and then he asked from Chan, who is that? Oh, then he told, he looking for truth. That's the person looking for truth. No, it's a serious subject. And then the Prince Siddhartha start, look, what is that? So looking truth is a kind of like it is, you cannot play with that. You cannot, it is not kind of like having fun. Then he start to think about it. Because if you don't look for truth, if you don't ask for truth, is anything going to be okay? It's going to be so beautiful around you. Be comfortable. But even from ourselves, once we start to question, even regarding that around us, once we start to look for the truth, things going to be completely different. So that's why he left the palace. Because it is a serious subject, you have to understand. Sitting and practicing meditation, especially when it comes to vipassana, it is a serious subject. It is not something, it is a, and you have to appreciate yourself, you doing it. Because everyone cannot do it. And everybody cannot accept it. But if you yourself, even you just hear the words, or even you just have the intention to look what it is, remember there is something inherent in you. So then it is your responsibility to take care it and develop it. So we just try to help as much as we can. And there are receivers in different level. But the thing is, when it comes to this knowledge, what you have to understand, this practice, try to tune you to a certain level to gain the wisdom. So because if you don't tune, if you don't prepare yourself, if you don't ready to gain the 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 same level of vibration, or the information and the frequency, and maybe it is there, but you're not going to get it. So but yourself, don't lose this time, because becoming a human is a very difficult, and you experience during this time, and even take care of this life, how difficult now. See, anytime that anything can happen, and we, through this pandemic, we experience how difficult life, and who knows what will happen tomorrow. We don't know. So then what will happen after that? We have no idea where we'll go and what will happen to us. But for sure, like the yesterday was there and tomorrow going to be there. So then it is yourself. When you have opportunity, just at least 5 minutes and get into to practice and uplift your awareness, and it is a kind of like a frequency, and develop your mind to receive that. The frequency means perception receive without any disturbances from your own thoughts. That is the frequency of enlightenment. Perception to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind receive without any kind of disturbances from your past or the future thoughts, or from your own defilements. See, it's nothing to do anything else. It is not a magic, but still you have to practice. So that's why this all, and keep in mind. So in these lessons, we keep talking nowadays, and we have some discussion regarding clear comprehension. Because the clear comprehension is the ultimate that you can develop as a mental quality. And that is not going to, that you can gain by pushing yourself, by praying or holding or maintaining, controlling your mind. You cannot get it like that way. It is you are allowing it to open itself through practice, and you learn to release rather than holding things, and rather than holding and maintaining your thoughts, you allow your mind to settle down itself. So when it comes to that, we talk a few qualities, and especially 3 qualities, and clear comprehension of purpose, and clear comprehension of suitability, and clear comprehension of resort. So if you miss that any lesson, you can go to our YouTube channel and listen to that. And if you really look for Vipassana meditation. And today we come to the last step of this whole qualities of this clear comprehension, the clear comprehension of non-delusion. So this is very important when it comes to meditation. What does that mean? So very simply, this is what you can apply to conventional life, and you can apply it to your meditation practice. So whatever the situation come, you don't lose your mind. That is clear comprehension of non-delusion. Why? Because let's go first to meditation. Sometimes people practice meditation and they come to a point, just 5 minutes you observe inhalation, exhalation, and you stay 1 minute, it is good. And after that, all the thoughts come. And you are in a kind of like a roller coaster. And everything in life, up and down, everything come and boil inside. And then the bell, tang, you open eyes, and it's 5 minutes. You don't know what happened. That is what you're losing, that your mind. See, you start to practice meditation, but you lose your mind while you practicing meditation. So that is a thought. Another thing is, when it come to more serious, this is what happened in samatha meditation. You practice meditation, and then sometimes, when you close your eyes, your heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness, this all the the qualities is like energy. And suddenly when you close your eyes, sometimes these things can appear like lights, like moving like a stars here and there, because of the behavior of the four elements. Sometimes, as example, if the heat high, and then when you close, you suddenly, and then you come to a different kind of feelings. And when the heaviness high, so it can happen in any ways. So because of the behavior of the four elements, sometimes you get kind of like the weird feelings. And then you think, oh, it is a result of my meditation. Now I kind of like gaining some results. And then you stuck there. You go with it. You love it. You attach to it. And then you lose the primary mental object. And then you go with something else. And there sometimes there is in tranquility meditation, when you keep practice, and there is a way that you can develop the nimitta as a primary mental object, that it really can appear as a light. So when it develop the absorption, dhyana, and sometimes there is a way that you develop the light. But this is not like that. This is kind of like the imagination itself overtake our mind. And sometimes you feel light, and some people it's kind of like you get the feather, now you like angel and fly. So people start to feel like that, and they like it, and they stuck with it, and they addict it. And then the very next day when they think for meditation, what will happen? When they close their eyes, and they become kind of like angels, they fly themselves. And they sometimes they start to hear weird kind of sounds, and they attach to that. And they kind of like they start to vomit all the mental forms, that the names that we used to carry in our mind. So all the emotions vomit. So people addicted to that. So that is what the delusion. So how you can get out of it? And you have to be sharp, you have to be tough when you come to meditation, and recognize the very nature of the mind. And see always, that's why in the beginning we talk about the purpose, you don't lose it. And again, with the effort, you stay with the primary mental object. Mostly this all happen in a tranquility state, but when it comes to vipassana meditation and the clear comprehension of non-delusion, it can happen more strong way. As example, the feelings, the comfort, that because when all the body, mind, breathing, thoughts, when settle down to one, and you feel so light in that lightness, and sometimes you feel like air, and that in that feelings you caught up, and you start to remind and repeat that experience again and again and again, and then you don't want to analyze it. So that is the delusion happen, because then you get out of the analytical mind. See, that when you are more comfortable, you don't want to question it. So that is the that is the delusion that happen in meditation. So clear comprehension of non-delusion means, and the mostly, and whatever the things come to your mind, breaking down that everything, destroying that all the defilements, you go keep the clear mind towards the practice, and you investigate whatever come, and you observe impermanent unsatisfactory nature and selflessness. And especially when it comes to self, you question to the bottom. Feelings arise, how the feelings arise? Because of the form. So then if the forms arise, and according to that the feelings arise, then in between this there is no self. So you go deep and recognize it. And the thought arise, and then with that thoughts, consciousness come together, and in between that there is no thought, no self. You question your own feelings. For that you have to be strong. That is happening when you develop the clear comprehension of non-delusion. Another thing is, you don't lose that on the way your practice, and you don't get into something else. You don't miss the point. And use as example, in tranquility meditation also we develop this. So as example, you recognize inhalation, exhalation, beginning, middle, end. So like that. Then you know where you are, in which place. So like that in meditation, you recognize where you are. And from beginning to end to beginning, you can go back and forth with your observation. And you don't lose anywhere, you don't lose your mind. So that is the clear comprehension of non-delusion. And when it comes to conventional life, if I give some examples, sometimes people go to buy things, and people go to mall. And once they go to mall, and they forget what they want to buy. And then they get caught up with that vivid things and all this kind of like imitations things, and they forget. And they go to party. And in that party, they forget who they are. And sometimes they forget they married. It happened. And sometimes, and you go to some place, even you go for a vacation. And you go for a vacation, and then from there, all with all the family and everyone. And you go for some break, and you go there and you find a nice place, and you find the internet, and then you log into your office work, and you are working there. See, you lose the place, and you lose your mind. Why? Because you went for a vacation, and now you take your laptop with you, and then you work from there. So that's mean you, even though other people go for a vacation, you are in office. So we lock the doors and everything at home, and it's for security. It is good. And then at dinner time, lunch time, you gather as a family, everyone, and it's the community. You get together. And but how about somebody to have the cell phone and go to Facebook and chat with people? That's me. Everybody in a dinner table, and somebody checking emails or chatting with others means somewhere far away in another place, somebody. See, you lock the doors and you lock the windows, and you are in the middle of the house with everybody, but where are your mind? Your mind is somewhere. That is what called you lose your mind. So the clear comprehension of non-delusion means you come to the point, recognize, and you stay and you become very clear with the situation. And if you will go somewhere, then you have to be there. Wherever you are, be there. Why you always carry your mind everywhere, wherever you go? When you go to beach, you cannot go with the briefcase. No, you have to go with the swimsuit. That's how it's. So when you go to the office, you have to take your briefcase. So that's how it is should be. So clear comprehension of non-delusion means you don't lose your mind, even with the people, environment, even with the meditation. See, that is why when somebody attain to enlightenment, you cannot catch that person. You cannot see, you cannot recognize. Why? Because that person develop the ability to be harmonized with the present moment and the situation. That person doesn't lose the mind. So then the very nature of the conventional mind, your body somewhere, your mind somewhere else. But in a generally, when you want to have a very comfortable, relaxed, happy life, even just in that conventional level, to become a successful person, and this quality may help for you. Forget about meditation. But if you are able to practice meditation, and then knowingly what time you sit, for how long you sit, and then now how far you went, and how your mind, condition of the mind, and the condition of the body, you know this everything. That is clear comprehension of non-delusion. So that itself, see, even that 1 minute, if you able to sit like that, how quality that 1 minute. So that is why you have to increase because then this is what happening. When you develop this clear comprehension of purpose, suitability, resort, and non-delusion, you become a person like a water. So you adapt according to the necessary situation. You don't hold into any habit or the tradition or the believing or mental views. You get out of that all, you become like air. And you just go with the flow. You have developed your ability to harmonize with everything, with clear understanding and knowingly how this is happening, why this is happening, how long this happened, like that. When you get out of it, you cannot tell, I don't know what happened. No, it is not like that. You know everything from beginning to end. Why? Because you knowingly you stay there. So like that. So with that, I give a little story. When you develop the clear comprehension with this all the 4 qualities, how the life going to be. So there were 2 monks who used to practice vipassana. And this is a Zen story. So these 2 monks one day went in the winter time, they went to a hotel. And then they got a seat next to the fireplace. And while they having their food, they saw the one waiter, the girl, whoever the serving to them, and she was very calm and relaxed and able to do many things and without making any mistakes. And then one monk told, for sure, that waitress practice meditation, that means vipassana meditation. Then other monk asked, how you know that? So then this monk told, let me show you. So then that monk called to that girl and told, I would like to give a gift. So this girl knee down and bowed the monks and told, please, I really appreciate with the great respect. And then what this monk did, he took the iron chopsticks and took a very hot charcoal from that fireplace, one charcoal, and it was like completely red burning. And the girl saw this. What she did, she was wearing a kimono. And then what she did, she just took one hand out and rubbed it in her hand, and with the great respect, and she gave the hand. And the monk took the charcoal, hot charcoal, and she, with the great respect, slowly walked away, and then she went to back and throw it away. And then she saw this the kimono already half burned. And then she came back in next round and told to and bowed down to the monk and told, I would like to give a gift for you. The monk told, of course, as monk we are always accepted. And what she did, she took iron chopsticks and took another burnt charcoal and offered to the monk. So what the monk did, and he took his robe and covered his hand with the robe, and then accepted the charcoal. And then once she gave it to his hand, he threw it to the fireplace. And then other monk was watching this. And then the girl bowed to the monks and left. So when you practice vipassana, that is what happening. You become a person. Whatever the situation come, you don't resist. So whatever available with things, you go with it. You become a receiver. You never resist. You never fight with something. You never try to change something. And so because we are conditioned to even when we hear the hot charcoal, and it's kind of like how it is possible like that, we are afraid for. But when it comes to the developing the clear comprehension, there is always, you have ability to go through any situation in life rather than resisting. That is the beauty of this clear comprehension. That is the power of your mind. But what we does, we always try to maintain the comfortable situations, and rather than opening our life to any situations. Because of the fear, lack of experience, or lack of the knowledge or something, we become very limited with the whatever we know as comfort. So that is itself samsara. By tomorrow morning, if you are able to be a person, when you wake up, you are ready to accept anything in your life, and you will see there are a lot of things going to change inside you, even this entire universal planetary system, and start to change according to your mind. So it's recorded, and it's followed by a lot of people. And when you come to quantum physics and psychology, you know this. It is possible. So now it is your choice. Are you going to be with whatever comfortable with you, or going to go with that and like a cow vomiting and eating, repeating the same thing every day? In the samsara, eons by eons you can do it. If you like it, it is up to you. But at the same time, if you look, this is how big this entire universe, and at the same time your mind has capacity to take that any situations to that, and you have ability to go through this any situation in life and experience the each and every moment freshly new way. So it is your choice. If you look for that path, develop the clear comprehension. So with that, I bless upon everyone. With this good practice, may all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata ca ammehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu. Sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless.